Ladies, gentlemen, and wrestling fans alike, welcome to episode 11 of the Squash Match Wrestling Podcast. In case you haven't noticed, episode 10, as of the recording of this video, has not been dropped yet, but a little bit of a complication with the SD card once again. And by complication, I mean I lost it on my countertop. However, I do have it. It's here. That'll be uploaded alongside episode 11. A little bit outdated, but it's the in-person special, so be sure to check that one out. It was a fun one. But I am Jake. I am joined once again here by my co-host Jet Li. Before we get into Money in the Bank and some stuff that happened in the WWE this week, Jet Li, how you doing?
Doing good, man. I mean, we had a pretty awesome weekend with Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. Some of our predictions were right, some of them were heavily wrong, and one of us lost a lot of money.
Ooh, yeah, that's right. We'll get into that in a little while, and I will try and explain how I may or may not have gotten out of that situation. But we'll get into that in just a little while. I got to give the people something to stick around for, so we'll get to that later. But for now, let's start out with Money in the Bank. We'll go match by match here. We'll start with the women's Money in the Bank match. Pat myself on the back here. Naomi is our 2025 Miss Money in the Bank. How are you feeling about Naomi and overall just the women's match in general?
Oh, it was a well-deserved victory on her part. I think she honestly has the most going for her right now. Um, Overall, the match I thought was really good, especially to open up the show. I do enjoy having one of the ladder matches open up the show, and I think this was a really good opener.
Yeah, I like the women's match. For the first time in a long time, I didn't like it more than the men's match. I feel like the men's match just had more in terms of high flying spots, more high flying. I guess just like the wrestlers that were in it were a little more high flying for the men's rather than the women's. I mean, we had like Roxanne Perez, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Rhea Ripley. They're not known to be, doing moonsaults off the top of 12-foot ladders. But nonetheless, still entertaining. The Devil's Kiss onto the steel ladder from Stephanie Vaquer to Rhea Ripley. That was a dream come true to see that happening. But anyway, I won't get too down bad for Stephanie Vaquer in this episode. Naomi is our, I almost said champion. Not yet. Naomi is our Miss Money in the Bank. I'm still sticking with my prediction from last week and the week before, where I have Naomi eventually cashing in on Jade Cargill. I feel like this is the most obvious route they could go from here. I don't know when exactly we'll get Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill, but it seems like that's the direction they want to go. It seems like Naomi's going to be the one to cash in, and I don't know. When do you think that would happen?
Um, I think Evolution would probably be the best time. I mean, you have an all-female PLE again for the first time in who knows how long. I think that would be like the perfect time.
Yeah, I could see that or like a SummerSlam. Although we have like so many PLEs before SummerSlam now. I mean, there's Evolution, there's Night of Champions. We're probably gonna get another two Saturday nights main events. I said it right that time. Um, and then we'll get SummerSlam, the two nights of SummerSlam. So I think we talked a little bit last week on how overboard they've been going with PLEs here. So I could see it happening at pretty much any one of these. Tiffany Stratton's been champion for a while. She got her WrestleMania moment. I think it's time to move on from that. So I'm gonna go with Evolution too. I would like to see this happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, because now it's starting to look like Seth, well, may have spoiled it, but it seems like one of the briefcase holders might hold it a lot longer than the other one.
Yeah, yeah. And that one I'd go as far as to say maybe SummerSlam, but we'll get to that when we get there. Anything else on the women's Money in the Bank match? Naomi, even maybe women's Evolution, stuff like that. Before we move on to our next match here.
I'm good.
All right. So next up, I think this was the next match. I'm not exactly sure. Was it Octagon Junior versus Dominic Mysterio? That was next. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was that one
Yeah.
or if it was the Becky Lynch match, but Octagon Junior. We had Dominic Mysterio. This one was set up at Worlds Collide after the Power Rangers faced on Legado del Fantasma, or was it was that LWO?
I think that was LWO.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, after we called them the Power Rangers all day when we were watching the show, the Red, Green, and Blue Rangers. After that, Dominic Mysterio got a little bit involved. Liv Morgan got involved. We had this match Once again, I feel a little bit shoehorned into Money in the Bank. How did you feel about this match overall? And maybe did you think it was like kind of rushed?
I wouldn't say it was rushed. I do feel like it was odd to have that match announced like day of 2 hours prior to Money in the Bank. But I think for what we were given, I thought it was a decent match for it being basically a filler.
Yeah, it wasn't bad by any means. It wasn't too long. It was maybe 10 minutes or less. It was just that. It was another filler. The only thing I didn't like was they're just giving Dominic Mysterio these filler matches to kind of I guess boost his title defenses before we eventually get to who will take it off of him later on this year, who I'm still going with Finn Balor at SummerSlam, but I don't know, I guess we'll see. But yeah, I feel like I want to see more of a story from Dominic Mysterio for the next PLE, whatever it might be. I think in terms of everybody, it would be Night of Champions, right? Or King of the Ring, whatever they're gonna call it this year. It's like all happening at once. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I feel like I'm done with the Dominic Mysterio filler matches. I want to see this man have like a good story going on, and not just one between Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan, for as entertaining as this has been so far. But yeah, to me, this one was just another shoe in.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it. I'm glad it was actually pretty nice to see like a AAA exclusive on a legit like WWE PLE on like a Worlds Collide.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying I didn't like the match. I mean, it was good. Um, it was interesting though because this PLE we had two, maybe three, technically, people compete on both Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. That being Octagon Jr., Stephanie Vaquer, and Chad Gable, if he is in fact El Grande Americano. So I thought that that was kind of cool. A little, I guess, stretching the work schedule there for some of these guys.
Well, I mean, for Stephanie, it was 3 matches in 24 hours.
Yeah, literally.
So props to her.
Yeah, yeah. It was awesome. It was awesome. We didn't mention this to the audience yet, but we were together for all of Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide. Played some beer die, watched some wrestling, watched some more wrestling. I made a mistake, but once again, I won't spoil what that is just yet. Anything else on Octagon Jr. versus Dominic Mysterio before we move on?
I'm good.
Alrighty, alrighty. So next up, we got one of my favorite feuds that we have going on in WWE right now, honestly. Not just on the women's side, but overall. It's Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. We were both right last week when we predicted that Lyra Valkyria would lose to Becky Lynch here at Money in the Bank. And that in the hand-raising ceremony afterward, we would still get some Lyra shenanigans and that this feud would go on. Overall, what do you think of the match? And what do you think of Becky Lynch as the new Women's Intercontinental Champion?
I was a little disappointed with this match only just because I feel like their previous matchup was a lot better.
Oh, yeah. It
I
was
think
so
we
much
both
better.
talked about it this
Yeah.
weekend. But I am glad that Becky does have the title now. I do really think that she could elevate this title even further.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this maybe 2 weeks ago, but it's like Monday Night Raw has the women's mid card, but they don't have the tag team division, and then SmackDown's the complete opposite, where they have the tag team division, but they don't have the women's mid card. This women's mid card title is so much better than the United States title. Becky Lynch just took it from already up here, the U.S. title's down here, already up here to like off of my little screen monitor that I could see here. Yeah, this title feels important. It feels like something that people should be fighting for, and I really like this story going on. You know, it's gotten so personal, and like we said, the match at Money in the Bank definitely not as good as the Backlash match, but I still liked it. I like what they got going on, and I think we're definitely going to see more of these two.
I still want to know if Becky took those pants from Steph.
She might have. The joint closet. Seth had. Did you see the clip the other day? Seth Rollins when his like skinny jeans were coming down and he was just like raw dogging him. He had like his like butt crack was showing through the skinny jeans. I think he was attacking like CM Punk or something, and he's pulling his pants up.
Yeah, I saw those tweets.
Yeah, it was like Seth fighting for his life in these skinny jeans or something. That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, on Monday Night Raw, I almost completely forgot about this, but we had Bayley actually reinsert herself into this feud. I don't know how you feeling about the return of Bayley so far. Where do you think she's going to take this IC title feud going forward?
I'm not gonna lie, I thought Bailey returning is a little early in my opinion, because I really want to see Becky and Lyra go at it like further. Like I feel like they could have like a third match at Evolution, and then that was probably the timing for Bailey to come back in my eyes. But I mean, I'm not mad at it, but I feel like Becky should have. I mean, Bailey should have returned a lot later.
Yeah, I'm actually going to disagree a little bit here. I think that Bailey's return is in a fine spot just because we just had Lyra versus Becky pretty much twice in a row. Like you said, they're definitely going to run it back at least one more time. We always see trilogies with storylines kind of like this. I think of like Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. But I think it just has to be delayed a little bit. I could see Bailey versus Becky Lynch at Evolution for the IC title, and then Lyra gets herself involved once again. Maybe she gets involved in the match itself, and that leads to a triple threat for the IC title. Maybe at SummerSlam, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely not upset by Bailey coming back because it almost looked like Lyra was a little confused at first. I don't want to say angry, but she looked just as surprised as I was.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing anything about Bailey returning, so I am a little surprised that they actually kept that on the low.
Yeah, I didn't either. Usually stuff like that comes out a little bit early. Speaking of which, we got Asuka back next week.
I hate that they spoiled her return.
Yeah. Just like the mystery opponent in the men's thing, they could have just done another one for the women's. I don't know why they wouldn't. Although you did say a couple weeks ago Asuka was coming back.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was like a legit surprise and not spoiled by a graphic.
Yeah. Kairi Sane was kind of the same way.
Yeah, but like Kyrie, there was actually like reports, so like hers was kind of expected. They just straight up gave Asuka the graphic. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, she's coming back. It's like, oh, okay, how are we supposed to hype her up for this match?
Yeah, because I think it was like maybe one or two, maybe three episodes ago. You said you saw something where she would return within the month or something. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like it wasn't. It's not like it was disclosed information that she was coming back, but still, it's fun to speculate. Give us something to look at. Just like this men's one, which once again we'll get into later. But for now, anything more on Becky Lynch, Lara Valkyria, Bailey even?
I'm good.
Alrighty. Moving on.
Actually, wait.
Oh yeah, go
Actually,
ahead.
hold on. I do want to mention something.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was not agreed upon that Lyra had to put the title on Becky. I will make that very clear.
That was true. That is true. She just had to raise her hand afterward. I'm glad she did though, because obviously we know what we got out of that.
Gave her like the Nightwing of her life.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this feud so far. I've been saying it. I've been saying it since like episode 1 or 2. Lyra Valkyria was the best women's champion that we had in the WWE, and I don't want to say in a while, because I mean obviously Io Sky is good, Tiffany Stratton is good, but they're just I don't think they're as interesting as Lyra Valkyria. I don't think they defend their titles as much as Lyra Valkyria did. I really like seeing her as champion, and although she's not champion now, she's definitely in title contention for it still for probably past SummerSlam at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, just looking forward to seeing her some more, especially now that she's getting more time on the mic too.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I have nothing but praise for this storyline that we have going on, and hyped to see what we have going forward for Lyra.
Yeah, same here.
Alrighty. Anything else on Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch, Bailey before we move on?
No, that was it.
Alrighty. So this was, I think, hands down, best match of the night. One of the best Money in the Bank matches I've seen in the last couple of years. We had Seth Rollins taking the briefcase here. Lots of controversy about this one online. I still would have preferred to see Karrion Kross make his way into this match and hold the briefcase afterward. But still, do you think? First, we'll go. What do you think overall of the Money in the Bank ladder match? And then, do you think Seth Rollins was the right decision here?
I really enjoyed this match. Like you said earlier, the men's match this year definitely topped the women's Money in the Bank match. I'm so glad, besides my outrageous take on Cena winning the briefcase, I'm glad I called Rollins winning it. Um, I feel like logically he really made the most sense just to put into like any storyline for the most part. Like granted, like of course we wanted to see like the likes of like LA Knight or even Penta win it. But it's like when we're looking at it long term, no one's more involved in both the world titles than Seth is right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I felt about Seth when I saw that he was announced for this match. Like in the back of my mind, I knew Seth Rollins kind of made the most sense. However, I don't know. I just thought LA Knight had I thought it was his year, man. You know, it's been 3 years in a row. He's been the favorite, and just nothing there. So you know, I will give you that one. As for what I thought of the match, I thought it was great. I thought LA Knight was actually like one of the MVPs of this match. You know, he's the one who flung El Grande Americano into the ladder, where he did that crazy thing where he climbed up, rode the ladder, and headbutted Penta off of it. That crazy like that backdrop. Was it to El Grande he did that from the top of the ladder where they fell like 10 feet? It might have been El
I
Grande,
think
or was it Andrade? I don't remember. I don't know. That was crazy though. I was focused on LA Knight through that whole spot. I was focused on LA Knight the whole match. You know, I'm a betting man. Little spoiler for what's coming up in a couple minutes, but yeah, I don't know. I think Seth Rollins definitely the right choice here.
won it on the Fireball ladder.
Yeah, on the Fireball ladder, the sponsorships were a big thing throughout Money in the Bank. We now have a sponsorship on the briefcase itself from Cash App, which you know what? Granted, it makes sense. At least it's not like Prime on the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like Cash App could get away with it. I thought the Fireball ladder looked a little weird. It looked like, you know, I'm not gonna say what I think it looks like. Let's just say maybe a red rocket or something like that. Moving on. The Slim Jim tables. I don't know. Once again, I don't have that big of a problem with it. I just think they look a little bit weird. But you know, I thought the logos in the ring looked a little weird too. But with time, I got used to it. UFC has stuff in the middle of the ring like that. All NHL arenas have shit on the ice nowadays. Um, a lot of stuff online I was seeing was wrestlers might have stuff on their gear soon.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't like a confirmed thing. It was more of just some speculation. The picture was actually really funny. It was Roman Reigns with a Dude Wipes shirt on.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Let's hope they don't do that.
Yeah. Definitely not. Not to my tribal chief. But I don't think it would go that far because it's like that's the wrestler's branding, you know? Like I don't want like people aren't going to want to buy t-shirts that's like Roman Reigns and then like a little Dude Wipes thing on the shoulder. Like people aren't going to want to buy those things. I think that would just lead to losing money. If anything, maybe they'll have something on their like knee pads or boots or some shit. And if that's the case, I want the wrestler to get paid for that too, not just TKO or WWE or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, we went from a money hog to another money hog. So,
Yeah. And at this point, that's just where we're at today. I saw something. It was like, who was it? They just got released. What are their names? The ones who they used to be in like AJ Styles group. Shit.
oh, the
Carl,
Good
like
Brothers.
yeah, the Good Brothers, the Good Brothers. I saw something on Twitter that was one of them was like, "This isn't WWE anymore. This is TKO. They're two completely different things, and it's fine. Like it's not a problem, but you just have to understand, like this isn't just WWE. TKO is making decisions like that, and it's way beyond Triple H's creative control. You know?
Yeah, and I feel like Triple H has become like the Vince McMahon now in terms of like being that scapegoat, just because like everyone knows like how heavily involved Triple H is for the most part. But like he's not on the board of directors. Like, yeah, he can make certain calls, but like it's ultimately TKO that makes the final call.
Yeah. Outside of anything really like storyline related, I don't think he has any part, any influence in that. And as somebody who now sells sports and advertisements and sponsorships, I was told to call them sponsorships, not advertisements. But anyway, I could see why they'd be putting things on everything. I had to watch this like seminar video thing at work. And one of the biggest takeaways I got from it was This guy said, NASCAR it up. You know, don't be afraid to put advertisements on anything and everything, which we're now actually seeing here in the WWE with ladders, tables. I assume chairs are next. Money in the Bank briefcases. If they go titles, that's way too far. I don't want to see. I don't want to see a Dude Wipes logo on the World Heavyweight Championship. You know, that would take everything away from it.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed on Monday, but the Cash App logo isn't even on the briefcase anymore.
Oh, it's not.
No.
Oh, really? I didn't even see. Hmm.
I mean, unless if it's like on the other side from where Rollins is holding it, but the way he held it, the logo's not on there anymore.
I don't know. I guess it was just a one night thing then, or he was making it a point to be like, "Hey, people don't like this. Let's just hide it on TV." Either way, I respect that because it was very clear from the backlash on Twitter that people didn't care for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do. We unfortunately live in a world where everything is, in fact, an advertisement, though. Like, if you go into, like, Times Square and just walk, everything is an advertisement. You look at a bus driving by, there's an advertisement on it. I don't know. You look at, like, menus at restaurants, there's advertisements on it. There's advertising everywhere. I could pick up one random thing on my desk here, and I bet it has advertising on it. Packaging is advertising in
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form. So that's just the world we live in today. Again, I think we'll just get used to it after a while, but I could see why there'd be backlash.
Yeah, I remember the backlash just starting with like all the logos on the ring. And it's like once again, like I'm a New Japan guy. New Japan does the whole logos on the mat anyway, so that was something I was already accustomed to. But like just seeing the backlash was like actually hilarious because like I'm in like I feel like I'm in like that 1% of like it doesn't look that bad as you say it does.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Like, at the end of the day, does it take away from the product in the ring? No. If Seth Rollins would have won on a regular ladder as opposed to a fireball ladder, I don't know. I'd still be fine with Seth Rollins winning. Like, that I didn't really care for. I think I would have been more happy if El Grande Americano won on the sponsorship that he was like promoting or giving out. Or well, Chad Gable was saying it, not El Grande himself. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Not that big of a deal.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of like marketing now, it's just like how many people are actually talking about it, and here we are, talking about it like a few days after Money in the Bank. We're like something either very little or very noticeable that can catch like a regular person's eye. They're going to talk about it.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Like the attention that Slim Jims got from this, the attention that Cash App got, the attention that Fireball got from it. Now, personally, I hate Fireball. I think it's disgusting. My one friend is an avid Fireball drinker, and I'm just like, fuck that. Like, I hate it. Um, like, it's not gonna make me buy Fireball, but I did certainly notice their logo there. So, I don't know.
I've never had Fireball, so I can't speak on that.
It's nasty. It's so gross. It's like spicy alcohol. It's so gross. We were in Atlantic City maybe around December, and my friend brought a like huge like a Ziploc bag like this big full of little like fireball shooters. And he was like, "You got to drink 3 of them before we go down to the casino." I was like, "No." I drank one. And I was like, it's not even like a, oh, he can't handle his liquor thing. I remember my first beer, as my friend Christian would say. You met Christian, but I just don't like it. It's just nasty. It just tastes bad. I'd rather drink straight tequila than Fireball, and even that's nasty.
I'll keep that noted.
Yeah, my infamous Patron bottle is no longer there. It's now out in the other room where we were watching. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, anything else on the men's Money in the Bank match? Seth Rollins winning Money in the Bank here.
Hey, I mean, I think we got to talk about the biggest thing that happened. Jacob.
Ah, yes. How could I forget? Jacob Fatu turning on Solo Sikoa. Solo, I hate you. I've been waiting for it for so long. I knew that was going to be the line. I just knew it. It was right there. That was a gimme. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't know how you feeling about Jacob Fatu's turn. I feel like we all saw this coming.
We saw this coming from a mile away, and I'm glad it happened at Money in the Bank. Because honestly, if it didn't happen at Money in the Bank, I would I couldn't even tell you when it was gonna happen.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good time for it. Obviously, we had Solo Sokoa being one of those guys that could have won it, but would have gotten screwed over right before he could grab the briefcase, and that's almost exactly what happened here. Um, I thought it would maybe be somebody in the match. I don't know if it would have happened at Money in the Bank. Again, though, glad it did. Do you think that this is going to lead into something for the United States title immediately, or do you think Solo's or Jacob Fatu is going to go off to other things and continue to get screwed over by Solo, or how do you think this feud's going to play out?
Oh, this has to lead to Jacob and Solo. I can't see this like pivoting any other way, especially since like the last few weeks, even on SmackDown, they were pretty much setting it up for Jacob and Solo to go at it anyway. So I feel like there's really no point in pivoting between those two.
Yeah, we had on SmackDown that little backstage promo with Solo and uh, JC Mateo. Almost called him Jeff Cobb there. I don't know who Jeff Cobb is, but I do know who JC Mateo is. Anyway, Solo, what he called him stupid. He'll do whatever I want, stuff like that. And then obviously they leave the room, and there's Jacob Fatu right there. He heard everything. That's the catalyst for our little feud to officially kick off here. I don't think Jacob Fatu is going to immediately feud with Solo. I mean, I think okay, fantasy booking time. Here we go. I think they'll have like one match for the title to kick everything off. Jacob Fatu will beat him handily. And then Jacob Fatu will try and move on to bigger things. And like maybe it was teased a little bit with Damian Priest, where Damian Priest was like, I'm coming for that title. I think that was also on SmackDown this week. If not, it was last week. I think then they'll go into a little promo with Damian Priest. They'll have them have a match. And then in the middle of that, Solo Sikoa will come out, screw over Jacob Fatu again. I don't know if he'll lose the title to Damian Priest because I want this match to be between these two for the title. But I think Solo's going to somehow get involved, try and screw over Jacob Fatu, and eventually lead to a match between these two for SummerSlam.
Yeah, I will say, and I think I mentioned this in like previous episodes, where like the US title now has to be looked at as like the main title on SmackDown, since Cena's holding the WWE Championship hostage at the
Yeah.
for the time being. But yeah, I still want to see like Jacob like take on like that main role of basically like being the top champion of SmackDown, and I feel like he definitely has a lot more to give, especially since he is pretty much like officially like on his own.
Yeah. A lot of people obviously have been saying this for a long time about Jacob Fatu, future world champion right here. And I think this is the best place for them to like test the waters with him as the main champion on a show. So I would like to see more out of Jacob Fatu. That's kind of why I was like, I don't immediately want to see him drop it to Solo. However, I do want to see him drop it to Solo. Solo Sokoa in the past 2 or 3 weeks since Money in the Bank here has become one of my favorite things to see on SmackDown. Like he's got aura now. I don't know what it is. He has more aura now than he did when he was the tribal chief. His promos are really good. In ring, I don't think he's elevated that much. However, I think the promo work kind of makes up for it, and his like kind of comedic, I'd even call it oozy demeanor that he has to him now, especially in the Money in the Bank ladder match. That gave him a lot of points in my eyes. Um, and I think if it's gonna play out the way that I was kind of predicting it would, um, I would like to see him beat Jacob Fatu for that title.
I really wish we got this version of Solo like a lot earlier, like when he was the tribal chief, because like now I'm like really enjoying what he's doing, and it's just because of the fact that he's like, I think now it's like he's actually like being himself. that like WWE is like giving him that like creative freedom in a sense. Because I feel like when they try to make him like, I wouldn't say like a legitimate like star because he already is, but like a main like feature for SmackDown, especially when Roman was gone, it was really hard to get behind him. But I think like now it's like now that he gets to be like himself basically, I think it's a lot easier to get behind him now.
Yeah, definitely. I think since his tribal chief days, he's kind of come out of his shell in a way. And I think back then he was probably thinking, I need to be the tribal chief. I need to be a serious toned character, and it just, for him, it just wasn't working because we saw it a little bit back then where he was kind of doing the same thing towards the end of his tribal chief run. Um, Coming out of his shell in promos, being a little bit more, I guess, funny, a little bit more loose with it. But now he doesn't have the pressure of being the main event guy. I mean, I guess he does a little bit with the United States title being, I guess, now as prestigious as it is because of John Cena. Um, but yeah, I think now he just has more room to work with it. He's like, I'm not the serious tribal chief. I'm now Solo Sikoa, who is the Timu tribal chief. So, yeah, I don't know. But he definitely is one of my favorite things to see on SmackDown. And I don't have a lot of favorite things to see on SmackDown at the moment. I think 2 weeks ago we talked about it in the in-person podcast. I watched like half of SmackDown, like tuned out a little bit, especially during the Zelina Vega match, and then tuned back in kind of. It's kind of like background noise to me, SmackDown is, especially recently. It's just because of how long it is, but we went over that last week. But Solo Sikoa, definitely something I look forward to. I like when he kicks off the show because I'm definitely paying attention then. And that's usually where the show always opens with a promo. And I think he's been doing a good job opening it up there.
Oh yeah, and I think we mentioned this last week, or even like this weekend, we're like, his promo battle against Seth Rollins, like,
Oh yeah,
it was really good.
it was. It made his little faction seem. I don't want to call it little faction. They're some of the biggest dudes in WWE right now, but it made his faction seem like they could go maybe toe to toe with Seth Rollins, and I'm just gonna start calling them Division because I think that's where we're going with it. But I think it made them seem like they could definitely go toe to toe with the Vision here. Um, Unfortunately, it looks like we're not gonna actually get we're not gonna get Timu Bloodline versus Division here because of everything that went down.
I mean, we could probably see it like later in the like down the line, but I feel like that's gonna be when like Solo's bloodline is like in full force, like when the Tongans come back, and then um, who knows, the Vision gets a fourth.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about the Tongans. I don't even know if infamous Tongaloa is coming back. I'm not gonna lie. They might just bring back Tama Tonga. But I don't know. I would love to see. I would love to see infamous Tongaloa.
They both need to come back. That's
Yeah,
the point.
yeah. He's got to come back with the eye patch too. Eye patch Tongaloa had so much aura.
Ah man, the amount of aura he had.
Yeah, maybe even.
I got after this episode, I gotta show you a clip from when he was in New Japan.
Okay. I was gonna say even maybe Hikuleo can finally debut. He's been on the back burner for well over a year now, I think. I don't know where the hell he's been, but
I think I was. I don't know if this was like an actual like report or not, but this is what I was saying. Was like Hekuleo is like struggling in developmental.
oh really?
That's what I've been seeing. I don't know how like true that is. And if it is true, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like he was in New Japan for so long. Like granted, like he is relatively new to like the wrestling business, so I guess like he's trying to still understand like the WWE way compared to like New Japan and all the other promotions he's been with.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about him in since he got officially signed to WWE. Obviously, you're the New Japan expert here. You know more about him than I do. So, I don't know. I guess we'll follow Hikuleo, Timu Bloodline. See where that stuff all takes us in the near future here. But with all that being said, is there anything more on Jacob Fatu, Money in the Bank match, Seth Rollins winning before we move on to our main event here?
Let's get on to the main event.
All right. So we had John Cena. We had Logan Paul taking on Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. Due to a random return, as I would say it, R-Truth comes back. Technically, Ron Killings comes back. Spoils the match for John Cena. John Cena takes the pin here. The babyfaces win. All is good in the world of the WWE. The fans get their way. How are you feeling about this match, and especially the return of R-Truth? I'm sure you could tell by my body language how I feel about the return of R-Truth.
I mean, I'm all for it. I really want to hear your point of view though.
Okay.
Because you have more to get off your chest than I do.
Okay. Story time, ladies and gentlemen. So it's Saturday night. I'm about 9 beers deep. We're playing beer die all day. I'm drinking while we're watching the show. My cousin looks over at me and he says, I bet you $900 that R-Truth returns during this match. And I said, no way. That's fucking stupid. You're on. And we shook on it 2 times. We're watching the match. I'm enjoying my night. No R-Truth in sight. And then all of a sudden, a hooded figure comes out of the crowd. And we all look and say, holy shit, that's R-Truth. So, I guess in a way, I owe somebody $900. But I have 2 reasons as to why the bet might be invalid. Number 1, he's Ron Killings now. R-Truth did not come back. R-Truth is dead. He confirmed on Monday Night Raw, R-Truth is dead. The truth has been set free. Ron Killings is here. Number 2, I suspect there was foul play within the bet. And I'll tell you why. During the show, we were approximately 30 minutes behind. You know, when we got there, set everything up, I rewound it. We waited about 15 minutes for Colin and Christian to come down. We paused it to play a game of beer ball. So we were a little bit behind. Now, if you noticed, when Josh asked me about the bet, he was looking up from his phone. So I suspect that he saw the R-Truth return on Twitter, confidently looked up and took advantage of my drunken ass and said, I bet you $900 that R-Truth comes back. And now me, knowing that R-Truth just got fired, I was like, okay, that's dumb. Sure. And then, what do you know? R-Truth comes back. So I suspect he saw it on Twitter beforehand and made that bet. But I don't have any way to prove that.
I was gonna say, is he like someone that is like an avid watcher that would have news like that on Twitter or any of his socials?
Well, he's not an avid weekly watcher like you or I. However, he does get stuff on his feeds and stuff because I actually talked to him about this. We had a little argument in our one group chat about it. He was like, I don't get, you know damn well I don't get anything wrestling related in my feed. Now he sends me about 10 TikToks a day. I'd say 3 out of those 10 are wrestling related. So I thought that was a little bit fraudulent, if you would. So that's still up in the air. We're debating on whether or not I still owe somebody $900 or a new Nintendo Switch, or even $100 for that matter. My mom yelled at me and said, that's dumb as hell. Don't give him any money because I'll be pissed. I already am pissed. And his mom would probably be pissed too. But that's still up in the air. So other than those reasons right there, I'm happy R-Truth is back. I thought his promo on Raw was really good.
Yeah, just to give viewers even more context behind that bet, that $900 was originally my bet for Cena to win the Money in the Bank match. By the way,
you see that's
so.
I was gonna say, I think he just heard us making stupid bets like that, and he was like, he saw it, and he was like, okay, here we go. This is an easy one. So I don't know what kind of conniving went down. on the other side of the couch while we were watching that match, but I don't know.
I mean, you have to honor it in some way, shape, or form because you did shake on it once. You shook on it twice.
I did shake on it twice, and that's the moral dilemma I'm having with myself here. Do I honor it or do I suspect cheating? And I do suspect cheating, like 100%. I definitely think something had to have happened. Because if you're not like a weekly watcher, that's not something you put $900 on, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, we had a $900 bet.
Yeah, but that was like, come on, that wasn't. I didn't. Nah, nah.
Hey, realistically, mine could have happened if the match card was in a different order.
That's true. That is true. I'll give you that. Nobody thought R-Truth was coming back though. He was like, I don't get wrestling stuff on my feed. I'm like, how did you know R-Truth got fired? Because that was on social media. That's the only place it was. They didn't even mention it on WWE TV, so you couldn't have saw it there.
I mean, he was watching Worlds Collide with us, so we did keep pointing it out. So we want truth in the
That's
comments of the
That's
live
true.
stream.
I don't know. I gotta sit on it for a little while. Hope it blows out my open window over here before I am once again poor. I just got my full-time job, damn it, and now I'm poor already. God, it's all my fault. I'm never saying the words "I bet" again in my life.
I mean, speaking of cash, I finally got my refund check.
Oh, there you go. That's good. I still have your pile of cash for now until I decide where it's going. Based on the R-Truth situation. But anyway, R-Truth's promo on Monday Night Raw. I feel like this match was kind of it was kind of just a reason to bring back R-Truth in the end. Like I don't think anything story beat wise really big was in this match. I mean, it made events because John Cena's in it, the World Heavyweight Champion's in it, or the former World Heavyweight Champion. Overall, I thought it was good. Not something I'd go back and watch religiously again, though.
I think I will say Truth returning was definitely a big surprise, especially in the match because, I mean, we can both agree we did not see it coming at all.
I put $900
because we just.
on it.
Yeah, I mean, we both assumed that he just wasn't gonna come back, and lo and behold, your cousin Josh makes probably the bet of his life, and this isn't like the first time he's done this, right? He did the Joe Hendry thing.
He said he's done it multiple times. However, the only time I can recall is Joe Hendry at WrestleMania, and that was said. This is the other reason that was said with a different tone of voice than this one was, because you heard him when he said it. He was like, "I bet you $900 R-Truth comes back," but back at WrestleMania, we were watching it. It was, "What if it's Joe Hendry?" So, I seriously suspect something foul has gone down. And I don't know. We're debating on how it's gonna go down. Of course, he would never admit to it, but nobody would.
I mean, the double shake verified it, and you had multiple witnesses,
I'm aware,
including me.
I know. I'm aware. It's a moral dilemma. I can't afford. I can't afford to do that right now, but I don't know. Maybe a monthly payment would suffice. I don't know, man. I'm going on vacation in a couple weeks. Next month, actually. But I got some expenses to pay for and save up for, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I was gonna. You gotta honor it, even if you think there is shenanigans.
I'll do something. I'll figure it out.
Just get him like a signed like Stephanie Vaquer poster or something.
Yeah, a signed Stephanie Vaquer, like a sock or something. I think that would be more appreciated. Anyway, though, enough of my down bad Stephanie Vaquer comments for this episode. I think we've had enough of that. But I don't know. I'm all flustered. I don't know where I want to go next with this.
I mean, let's talk about how John Cena took the pin.
Oh yeah, that's a little. I didn't expect that, but I mean, I feel like it was definitely. Well, we predicted last week that it would be Logan Paul, and I feel like the only reason it wasn't Logan Paul was because of the Ron Killings return. I'm not calling him R-Truth anymore. Stick with my thing here. Ron Killings came back, uh, stuck it to John Cena. So John Cena takes the pin here. What do you think that this means for John Cena and Cody Rhodes? Because obviously we have the next matchup is CM Punk and John Cena.
Yeah, now I'm starting to get confused where his title reign is going because now we have too many people in the mix for me to really keep track of. Because, like, I know how we both predicted we wanted to see Cena and Punk for Money in the Bank, and we didn't get that. We obviously knew that we're going to get this match at some point just based off their feud, well, promo on Monday. Um, where Cody goes into this, I genuinely don't have a clue.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of believe reports that were saying that R-Truth's return, Ron Killings' return, wasn't Triple H's idea. At this point, they were kind of done with him. TKO wanted him back because obviously he's probably going to make them a shit ton of money. Um, sorry, but yeah, I feel like the whole Ron Killings thing was kind of just like a wrench in the entire plan. Because if, say, Jey Uso had pinned Logan Paul, we don't have to go right into John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Like, sure, we know it might be around the corner eventually, but now it's like it has to happen, which makes me completely overlook CM Punk versus John Cena in Saudi Arabia. Because I know it's just going to be Cody and John Cena, especially now after the Seth stuff that we had on Monday, too.
Well, even like in the match itself, we saw like hints at Cena and Logan Paul. So like if Logan does somehow get mixed into this, there's way too many people to keep track on who John Cena's feuding with. Because at this point, it's pretty much everyone, honestly.
Yeah, because the way Ron Killings' promo went, he was like, it seemed like a main event thing. Like he's gonna get one last big main event push, which leads me to believe world title. Which now it makes no sense for him to go after Gunther. I could see another match with John Cena is in the works for him, but again, that completely overlooks CM Punk, completely overlooks Logan Paul, completely overlooks Cody Rhodes, even Seth Rollins with the briefcase. All this does is open up more opportunity for Seth Rollins to cash in on John Cena, which another pat on the back for myself. I predicted that Seth Rollins might actually go after the WWE Championship a couple weeks ago, so I think it makes more sense for him to do it, especially now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like no matter the route Cena goes, it's still gonna get a lot of heat regardless. He already is getting heat because his heel run genuinely sucks. Like no one like really cares for it, and the fact that we're basically halfway through it, I don't know if it's like sitting with other people, but like I mentioned this Saturday where it's like we are literally halfway until Cena's done.
Yeah, yeah, and it's crazy to think about because they put the countdown thing on the board again on Monday, and I think it was 19. After
Yep.
Raw, it was 18, so he'll have 18 dates left throughout the year. Um, I don't know if I agree that the heel run sucks. Like I think the only reason that I'm not completely on board with it is because of the disappearance of The Rock and Travis Scott. More or less The Rock than Travis Scott. But like if The Rock was still around and there was a reason for him to do that, I think the heel run would have worked so much better if John Cena just turned heel on his own. Because all of the reasons that he's stating for turning heel make sense without The Rock. In fact, I think they make more sense without The Rock. Because after Elimination Chamber, he wasn't even like mentioned again. Like nobody's even like name dropped the final boss really since then. So it's like what gives. And unfortunately, we're seeing the backlash on that now. Like it's especially where we're at now with this triple threat. Ron Killings is back. CM Punk's announced. Logan Paul disputes inside the match. Cody Rhodes getting the pin. It's turned into a little bit of a shit show. So I do agree in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm still all for this John Cena run because it is his last. A lot of it's hopefully going to be nostalgia trips, even if they are weird ones like what the ones we just had with like Cena and Truth. But like, this is the last time really anyone will get to see him. Maybe he'll do like some appearances, like if he's not like busy like doing movies and stuff like throughout the years. But like, this is like the last of like basically full time, even though the way he's been showing up really hasn't been
Yeah.
full time.
Yeah, he's like a PLE match only. Although CM Punk's kind of that way too, and he's full time. He rarely has a match on Monday Night Raw. I don't think John Cena's had a match at all on Monday Night Raw. But I mean, other than the Money in the Bank qualifier, when was the last time we saw like CM Punk on Raw?
I mean, he still makes like more consistent appearances than Cena
Yeah,
does.
that's true. He's there every week at least.
Like even if like he's not wrestling, he'll still cut like the promo of the night basically.
Yeah, because I guess he doesn't really have to wrestle as much, just because of the character we know that he is. Like he's more of a character worker than an in ring thing.
Yeah.
Like an AJ Styles, like he can wrestle every night. Chad Gable, he could do it every night. CM Punk, I don't know.
Yeah.
Most of his in ring bangers, I feel like, are because of the storylines that have led up to them, rather than just like in ring work.
Yeah.
Not that he's bad, but you know what I mean.
No. And I feel like it's now like pretty much that shift where it's like your top stars are pretty much gonna be your part timers. And that kind of sucks in a way. Like, yeah, like you have like your like legit full time and like Seth Rollins, Solo Sikoa, I'll even throw on that list. But it's like your bigger names aren't consistently there.
Yeah, and yeah, that's been a problem for kind of a while, I guess. Like Drew McIntyre, I think of him doesn't have matches every week. He definitely does more than CM Punk or John Cena. I'll say that. But like during the CM Punk feud, I guess like they didn't really have any matches other than the PLE ones. Sure, Drew was getting screwed over by Punk, but that's because he was injured and they couldn't have matches. Like that feud was just like delayed.
Yeah, and honestly, it just stems from, I think, Roman for the most part, because he was like the worst with it. And even Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it was like they see that it works and they don't have to have matches, and why not protect your champion at that point? And CM Punk's not even
Yeah.
a champion, so
Nope.
uh,
But he still makes the revenue.
yeah, definitely. That would be a perfect segue into my next segment here. If we don't have anything more on the return of Ron Killings or this Money in the Bank match.
Honestly, Logan Paul was the MVP for me in this match.
Oh yeah, dude, that springboard onto the table from Jey Uso, that was insane. Logan Paul's so good. I'll say it every week if I have to. People who hate on Logan Paul are just haters. That's it. He's so good. You're supposed to hate him. He's just doing his job.
Yeah. Here's the question of the day for our like 14 viewers.
Yeah.
Did anyone, because we mentioned it on Saturday, am I the only one that notices the new tables or what?
Like the round ones kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because I swear they've been there for PLEs.
yeah, I didn't notice it. I have no idea. I'd have to go back and look cuz I know cuz I remember it wasn't Braun Breaker's debut, but it was closer to it when he did that spear and like missed. I forget who it was on, and he hit like the middle of his chest off the corner of the reinforced table. I was like, holy shit! Like he could have just like broke his ribs off of that. So I know at one point or another they were definitely pointed on the corners. I didn't even notice it on Raw if they were rounded or not. But yeah, you pointed that out at Money in the Bank, and either I hadn't noticed or that's new.
I mean, you can tell with like these newer announcer tables, they are like reinforced to hell.
Oh yeah, even like it seems like sometimes. Actually, we saw it during Randy Orton and John Cena. People are supposed to go through them and they don't break. Like when Randy did the AA onto the table and just went under the ring and grabbed another table to put him through for the sake of putting him through a table. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're definitely much heavier, definitely harder to break.
Yeah, and speaking of the Braun Breaker thing, I remember exactly who it was.
Was it Ludwig Kaiser?
Yeah, it was
There you go.
our boy Ludwig
Yeah,
Kaiser, who we never see anymore.
yeah. Who I a while ago predicted for King of the Ring, but I don't even think he's in the tournament right now.
Plus,
I didn't see him on the bracket unless he's the surprise appearance. But we'll save my prediction for who I think that is in a little while. Like I said, I have two guesses. Fuck it, let's get into it right now. We're already here. I have two guesses. One I would much rather than the other, but the other I think is highly likely. As for who I think those are, I think Karrion Kross is one of them, and I think the other one is Mr. Iguana. He got such a big pop at Worlds Collide, man. I had never heard of Mr. Iguana before this, but he was awesome. People love Mr. Iguana now. There's no doubt in my mind they would put him in there. The only problem is that they're putting him in with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker's not in that match, is he? No, he competed already. It was three big guys. I don't remember off the top of my head. I know Bronson Reed's in there as one of them.
we need a Jamie for our
Yeah,
podcast.
Jamie, pull that up. Pull that up, Jamie. We need the. I'll do it right now. You could go ahead with your predictions though, while I get the full thing, so we don't have dead air here.
I agree with Karrion Kross, but if I were to make a second guess, um, I mean, for shits and giggles, because we already mentioned him. What if Kaiser's in this?
That's who I wanted. I wouldn't be upset with that.
Yeah, I
I
think
have.
that one is Bronson, Sheamus, and Rusev. I think.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. It's Sheamus, Rusev, Bronson Reed, mystery opponent. We have Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, Andrade, and Shinsuke Nakamura, aka Shinsuke Nakamura is taking the pin in this match. On the other side, we already have Sami Zayn who's qualified. Then we have Randy Orton will be making a return on SmackDown. That's cool. LA Knight, Aleister Black, and Carmelo Hayes. So I want to see a Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn final. That's the only reason I have Karrion Kross in here. The only thing I'm having a hard time seeing is how he's going to do anything other than eat the pin against Sheamus, Rusev, or Bronson Reed. He's definitely not pitting Bronson Reed. Rusev, I think, is too fresh coming back to take a pin here. They're building him up to be a super threat. He's just not quite there yet. And then I guess maybe Sheamus could take a pin. But if he was going to take a pin to anybody, I could see him passing out to, like, Rusev. Not even tapping.
I mean, if Karrion is in the match, if he's in the match, I mean, he does have the cross jacket, which is basically a sleeper. So
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I feel bad. I don't see him doing anything other than I would. You know what? At this point, I don't care if he takes the pin. I just want to see him on TV for once. Finally, for longer than 45 seconds, because he had another promo on Raw, which I didn't get to see because it was over a goddamn commercial break.
yeah, we gotta fix that with the Netflix in the United States.
It's so ass. It's so ass. Like I don't
Like
get it.
I don't want to see a commercial on like real American beer.
Yeah, like I don't care. I don't even know where they sell real American beer. I don't know if I would buy it if I could.
I wouldn't even want to buy it.
Yeah, like I don't care if it's WWE sponsored.
Yeah, like I'll buy a Slim Jim if it has LA Knight on it.
Yeah, I'll do that. Or like a can of Pringles with like Bianca Belair or something. I think that was a thing. Or like cereal boxes. I don't really eat too much cereal, so maybe not that one. Um, but
This is
like,
a little off topic, but speaking of which, have you seen like the TikToks of like Angel Reese on cereal boxes? and like people are just chucking them into like their grocery carts and just completely
And
missing.
missing. Yeah, I have seen those. That's funny. Uh, Going back to the like advertising thing, I re-downloaded Clash of Clans because WWE was in it. I haven't played Clash of Clans in like 4 or 5 years. I'd
I
say,
was gonna say, isn't like that commercial with like Cody and Rhea?
yeah, that like promotion is over now too. They're not even in the game anymore. I downloaded it too late, but I'm having a good time on Clash of Clans. I think I spend a good majority of my time. Okay, I won't say majority, but I spend a good amount of time at work playing Clash of Clans. Anyway, I hope my boss Terry doesn't watch this. I don't think he does. Uh, but anyway, yeah, I've got Mr. Iguana or I've got Karrion Cross. Neither of which I see winning. For as much as I would like Karrion Cross to.
I'll be honest with this. I genuinely think it might come down to Sammy and Cody in the finals.
Yeah, I could see it because I didn't even know Cody Rhodes was in the bracket. I didn't really look too hard at the bracket until just now. Um, but yeah, Cody. Even if Karrion Cross wins in the first round, he then has to go up against Cody Rhodes, who is very clearly winning his match. Uh, unless
Unless if Shinsuke pulls off the upset of the century.
yeah, unless Shinsuke pulls one out of his ass here, or Damian Priest, or actually, that's true now because now that I think about it, it is a fatal 4-way. Maybe John Cena comes out and he screws Cody Rhodes.
I mean, maybe, but does Cena really want to use like another appearance just for that?
That would be such a waste. Um, Maybe Logan Paul does it. Maybe that could be Cody's time waster until he gets up to Cena.
I mean, I would see it if Logan Paul was actually on SmackDown again.
Yeah, oh, that's true. He's not even on SmackDown. He's on Raw. Never mind. Okay, well, Cody Rhodes is winning. It's gonna be Cody and Sammy.
I was gonna say, like, out of like all like the Fatal 4-Way matches like they gave us, Cody's match is like the clear cut. Like, this is the obvious pick.
Yeah, this is the clear setup for SummerSlam too, which we didn't get into. This is another good segue into the Money in the Bank briefcase and Seth Rollins. This is the clear setup to Cody Rhodes versus John Cena once again, and I think another big setup to Seth Rollins' second heist of the century. Night 2 main event of the first 2-night SummerSlam. Seth Rollins is going to cash in. I can see it from a mile away. I'm not going to say the words I bet in front of it, but I think this is a gimme.
I will say, because SummerSlam is 2 nights now, it's like really throwing me off in the sense of like what matches could actually happen.
Yeah, because we have a lot. This is like another WrestleMania. And this is another problem, now that I think about it, with the amount of PLEs that we've been having. Because without episodes of Raw and SmackDown, we don't really have those stories that are able to develop for something like a SummerSlam, especially with a card that has so much room, you know? Like, usually that stuff would start building now. And we're just not seeing it.
Yeah, I do want to point this out just because it is kind of relevant. When's the date for Night of Champions?
Honestly, I don't know. It should say it on the schedule here. It doesn't. That's interesting. I have no idea. Jamie, pull that up. When is Night of Champions 2025? It is,
I'm
oh
only
my god, it's this month. It's June 28th.
There's no shot we're gonna get. This might end the streak of like having a show in Wilkes-Barre.
It totally will, because that's the Saudi show, I think. Yeah, it is. It is.
There's no shot we're gonna get a Wilkes-Barre show.
Yeah, unfortunately. I think maybe they seem to be hitting all the bigger arenas now. And maybe that's something with TKO where they're not going to, like, I don't want to say Wilkes-Barre is a small town, but it's definitely not like, Phoenix, Arizona. It's definitely not Los Angeles.
I don't even think it's TKO. I think realistically it's like like whoever's like in charge of like who's like streaming it, like Netflix.
It might be. I have no idea. But since Netflix has taken over on WWE, we haven't seen anything in the Wilkes-Barre. Maybe a SmackDown will get one eventually, but I would like to see another episode of Raw. And I think I said this back when I don't think we had a podcast at the time, but I said this a while ago when Netflix bought it. I was like, we're never gonna get an episode of Monday Night Raw here again.
I
Unfortunately,
think I think you said that in like the very first episode. I'm
I
pretty
might
sure.
have. I might have. It was a while ago, but yeah, I don't like. They're just skipping over all these like little, I guess you could say smaller markets just to fill
But like,
seats.
but like, I mean, I know you could speak on this as much as I can. Like, whenever we go to the shows in Wilkes-Barre, it always seems to be like it's sold out.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely is. Everything but where like the camera stuff is, there's people everywhere. Last time I went,
Yeah,
it was definitely sold out.
even like the nosebleed seats, those are pretty packed.
That's where I sit, and I sit there in Wilkes-Barre because they're not as expensive. Although they're still like $60 a ticket. Um,
I say even for like the hard cam seats, the last few years when I got like seats at the hard cam, they were like 90 or $100.
yeah, and that's not bad, and that's why I fear they're skipping over us because they can't charge as much at Mohegan Sun Arena as they could in like Madison Square Garden. Because even the nosebleeds at Mohegan Sun, if you have you ever been in like an NHL arena?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the nosebleeds in an NHL arena are like so much higher up than
Hmm.
they are in Mohegan Sun. We went to Buffalo to see a Sabres versus Golden Knights game, I think last year. And I was just amazed because I was like, holy shit, I've never been in an arena this big. Um, we were right on the ice though. We were like first row on the glass. It was really cool. Vegas lost 7-3. But anyway, uh, but they have like there's the bowl seats, and then there's the upper deck, which is where Mohegan Sun stops, and then there's nosebleeds above that, where because like the nosebleeds at Mohegan Sun are good seats. You could see from up there. They're relatively good, very visible.
Yeah, like I know like being in like the Philly area, like I went to like a few like 76ers games and like the cheapest tickets were like the very like back of like the nosebleeds for like 10, $15. And like people don't realize this, but like bigger venues like that, like you are high up.
Yeah, no,
Like
you are.
I couldn't imagine like a bucket list is still like trying to go to an NFL game. So like I couldn't imagine going to like the link and like sitting at like the very top nosebleed. I would like be scared
Yeah,
for
I'd
my
probably
life
I'd
up
probably
there.
pass out. That's why when I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy tickets for SummerSlam, and then I looked at them and I was like, wow, these tickets are $200, but they're in the nosebleeds. And then I was like, I'm not gonna be able to see anything from up there. I might as well just watch it on TV. I'll get commentary. I'll get a better view. The only reason you would go for nosebleeds is like just the experience of being there, I guess. Which is it worth that much money if you can't even see what's going on? I'd be watching it on the jumbotron anyway. You know, it'd be like watching it on TV, packed into arena with no commentary. Although I think it'd
Yeah,
still be cool, especially now that WrestleMania is never coming back. Las Vegas, damn it.
I really wish I took the opportunity to go to Mania when it was in Philly.
Oh, me too. I tried.
Like that that's like I was still well, I mean, I still am a college student in a sense. I've yet to have a stable income,
Yeah.
as I mentioned earlier with my refund check. But yeah, no, it's screw Vegas, by the way. I'm no one asked for WrestleMania to be in Vegas again, and I mentioned this when they made the announcement the first time around. Like, it was originally set in New Orleans. Could you imagine how many people like planned in advance, like had their itinerary set for Mania to be in New Orleans, just for it to be pulled?
Yeah, like people who bought tickets already, they probably like you're not just buying tickets for a show like that. You're buying plane tickets, you're buying a hotel room, you're buying all that kind of stuff. So it's like I think we went over this already a couple weeks ago, but yeah, it's like what about all those people? Like you're really kind of screwing them over with that.
I genuinely won't be surprised if like this WrestleMania has like a relatively low attendance because of like how drastic the change and the move is.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. The reason they moved it though is because obviously Vegas paid that amount of money, and they probably just expect, oh, it's WrestleMania, people will come, and they will. It'll probably be packed still, but I don't know if it'll sell out again.
Yeah, but it's like the top 5% of people that could actually afford it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like those people aren't. I don't want to say they're not the real wrestling fans, but they're not doing a podcast on Tuesday nights and putting it on YouTube for 14 middle schoolers to watch.
Hey, we're still grateful for those viewers.
We are. We definitely are. If they even make it this far into the episode. But anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the WrestleMania tangent for the day. I didn't go on a Karrion Cross tangent today. A little bit of one.
We could start one now.
We could. We could. I want him in King of the Ring, but he's totally going to lose. I don't have too much to say. Actually, here's my Karrion Cross rant for the day. I saw that Karrion Cross was not offered a new contract extension, which leads me to believe they're just kind of riding out his contract by not showing him on TV, which is unfortunate.
Let's hope that's not the case, but because he is literally the biggest name in the company right now that's not being utilized, and a lot of people are seeing it.
Yeah, he's like on fire right now, and I especially hope he doesn't get released because I got a notification from Fanatics today that my T-shirt has finally shipped. So next week I will be sitting here angrily in a Karrion Cross T-shirt if he does in fact get released. I also got like cucked by a notification the other day because it was one of those things where it says like ... at the end of it, so you have to click on it. And it was like Karrion Cross gets a new contract extension, and then it was ... And I was like, oh my god, finally! I think it was on Saturday actually, while we were watching Worlds Collide, and I clicked on it and I looked at it and it said Karrion Cross is getting a new contract extension, but not with WWE. He's getting an extension with audiobooks to read audiobooks, and I was like, good for him, but I don't really care.
Yeah, I really hope like TKO sees the value in Karrion Cross the way they pretty much saw value in Ron Killings.
Yeah, like it's almost the same situation. Like people, when he comes up, you could hear it too when you watch episodes of Monday Night Raw. When he comes on the TV, everybody gets up and screams, and it's like, why not put this guy out there in a match? Do you not trust him in the ring? You definitely trust him on the mic. That's all he gets to do is backstage promos. He's great on the mic. Like why not? He has an awesome entrance. I just don't get it.
I was gonna say what's gonna happen first, Karrion Cross having a match or Austin Theory turning face.
At this point, I would go as far as to say what's going to happen first: a Karrion Cross match or GTA 6 getting released.
I was gonna say because they delayed GTA 6.
Yeah, they delayed GTA 6. We might get GTA 6 before we get a Karrion Cross match. That might actually be the first thing to happen before or after GTA 6's release. Can't even meme about it right now because I foresee it.
Yeah, and especially if they don't give him a new contract, that's gonna suck.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, if he gets released and he goes to like TNA or something, I will be a weekly TNA watcher.
See, a good fit for him, and this is just me kind of being personally biased. Japan would be great for him.
Yeah. Actually, did you know he's a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I do know that. I've
Yeah.
seen all the videos of him
Yeah.
breaking baseball bats.
He's sick. That's part of the reason I love Karrion Cross so much. I am, in fact, a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Oh, yeah, you saw me beat up Colin the other day. That was fun.
Yeah, most people would pay to see that.
Yeah,
I got that for free.
yeah. No, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
I also just don't know how like BJJ wrestling or well, BJJ belts are ranked.
It goes white, blue, purple, brown, black. So, from personal experience, a brown belt is really fucking good. You do not want to fuck with that guy. Uh, so I don't know. It's hard to describe if you've never experienced it. Like you watched me beat up Colin,
Mhm.
I would get ragdolled by a brown belt.
I say because I did kung fu and the highest I ever got was either I think it was yellow or purple. I don't remember, but it's like towards the higher end. So
Yeah,
although that I was like 10.
yeah,
So
yeah. Anyway, moral of the story: you don't want to fuck with that guy in real life. But like, let him do that in the ring. Give him something cool.
let, let
Just
him be that killer.
let him be Killer Cross. I just bought his damn
I'm
T-shirt. If he gets released and I just got his T-shirt, I'm gonna kill somebody.
Hey, I'm just saying if Ron Killings can have killings, why can't Killer Cross have?
Yeah, exactly. I don't care if it's his real name.
Yeah, like and that, ladies and gentlemen, is our Carrying Cross rant of the week.
Yes, take a bow.
I wouldn't even say I don't even think that was a rant. That was more of a praise.
Yeah, that was a glaze, if you would. Um, with that being said,
That's our
anything
Carrying
more?
Cross segment.
Yeah, yeah. Anything more on Karrion Cross? I will say our Karrion Cross segments are longer than Karrion Cross's Monday Night Raw segments. But anyway, anything before we move on to the final topic of the day here? It was a big one, which I'm sure you're happy about.
Let's go do it.
All right,
Let's go do it.
Monday Night Raw. We had the first World Heavyweight Championship title defense on Raw in quite a while. We had a rematch from WrestleMania. Gunther versus Jey Uso. Gunther is our new two-time World Heavyweight Champion. I think I already know how you feel about this.
I'm so happy.
I figured. Did you like this match more than the WrestleMania one?
So yeah, I do think this match was definitely better than the WrestleMania one. I think just simply because the fact that I've never been so hyped for Arizona in my life.
Yeah. I think that WrestleMania was a better Jey Uso match. I think this one was a better Gunther match, if that makes any sense. I just thought that the drama was pretty good in it. Like at the end where they were going back and forth with the sleeper holds. I saw some people online they didn't really like that segment. I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think Jey Uso was going to tap Gunther out again, but I also didn't see Jey Uso getting tapped out either. So it was like I knew he was going to pass out from it. I thought that they would add a little bit to it. You're telling me that Pat McAfee could survive like four sleeper holds and like they're dropping the arm and he sticks it back up and he comes back to life, but Jey Uso can't. The actual world heavyweight champion. As a Jey Uso fan, I was a little bit pissed off by that. I thought they could have done at least one of those and then had him pass out. Um, but other than that, I don't know. I'm okay with Gunther being world heavyweight champ again, as long as he has a long drawn out title reign.
Yep, and that's why I was really glad. And to be fair, this goes back to our WrestleMania prediction. I never wanted Jay to win the world title to
Oh,
begin
I
with.
remember.
And seeing how Jay's title reign went, I'm glad I was right.
Yeah. Um, it was very short, but that's kind of a callback to like a long time ago. I think we quoted like a couple weeks ago when like Edge was the world heavyweight champion. We didn't get those like long title reigns like we're used to today back then. This was a test run for Jey Uso. This was giving the people what they wanted. It was giving Jay what he worked so hard for. He got a good run. It was okay. It was I don't think you need to be a long champion to have a meaningful title reign. He defended it a good handful of times, had some good matches. He won the Royal Rumble. Like it was like his road to WrestleMania to becoming World Heavyweight Champ, I feel was more impactful than his actual title run was for him as a character.
Yeah, I will say I didn't mind. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think Jay had a bad like run with the world title. I just feel like he never needed it to begin with.
I think he needed something. Like you got to get rewarded after all the stuff he's
You mean
been through, you know.
okay? I'm sorry. You mean Jay Uso deserves a title over guys like Karrion Kross?
All right, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. Karrion Cross for Royal Rumble 2026, but I don't know. It's hard to dispute that now. My guy Karrion Cross.
Yeah, there's the argument.
There's the argument. Okay. No, I would love to see Karrion Cross as a 15-time World Heavyweight Champion with a 5-year title run. I would love to see that, but I don't think it's gonna happen. um, where was I? I forgot. I think Jay's title reign was definitely well deserved. I think he needed something, but again, I don't think he needed that long title run. Like I think the bigger moment for Jay was winning it and winning the Royal Rumble. It was that road to WrestleMania. We've both been saying for since WrestleMania that this wasn't going to be a long title run, and it wasn't. So I think it just did its job. It did what it needed to do for Jay.
I'm gonna go back on the WrestleMania podcast because I'm pretty sure I did say this in our predictions. The reason why I never wanted Jay to win was because I was too associated with him being a tag team guy. That was like the biggest issue. And now like I'm starting to see reports that like we might see like an Usos reunion. That's like one of the biggest reasons why I feel like Jay really never got over for me as a singles guy. Like granted he did a lot of good stuff, but like his first like initial singles run, he won a tag team title with Cody.
Yeah, that's a little awkward.
Like we're talking like apples to oranges here. Like, yeah, you want Jey Uso to have like the singles run of his life. Oh, let's give him a tag team title without his brother first. Like, wait.
Yeah, that's not a hot way to kick off a babyface singles run for one of the greatest tag team, probably the greatest tag team of all time, in my opinion, the Usos. I didn't see too many reports. Are they out there of an Uso reunion? Because I mean, Jimmy doesn't have much going on for him right now.
I've been like seeing like tweets like here and there, but it seems like the plan is for an Usos reunion.
Um, I don't know if I believe that. Just because I feel like this, like after this, like the whole main event Jey Uso thing, if he goes back to the tag team division, which for as much as the Monday Night Raw tag team division needs it, I feel like he's just not main event Jey Uso anymore. Like right now, I feel like he's in a good spot in the main event, whether he's world champ or not. He could be one of those guys that is depended on to go and compete for the title if need be. I don't want to see him go against Gunther again for like a year at least. Like I want to see Gunther have a really long run, and I don't want Jey Uso to be a part of that anytime soon. Like maybe you could come back to it this time next year, but I don't want to see it at WrestleMania. I don't want to see it at Royal Rumble. I definitely don't want to see it at SummerSlam. I 100% don't want to see it at Night of Champions. Um, with that being said, though, what do you think is next for Gunther, the new World Heavyweight Champion?
I really hope we get to see like his version of like Triple H's like Reign of Terror.
Yeah.
Like I want this motherfucker to hold this title for like 2 years.
Yeah. Oh, I do too. Because it goes back to the whole thing. Gunther has been a champion in WWE or something of prestigious title like King of the Ring longer than he has not been a champion. And I want to see that stick around.
Yeah, and I think he said like I think this was like after Raw. He said it in like an interview where it's like he's not there to make friends or bonds. Like he's just there for business. And like if that's the way we're going, and like he's pretty much there just to be the dominant force that we know him to be, take my money.
Yeah, because my initial prediction for this match was that we would get. Well, I guess it goes back to LA Knight winning the thing, but and honestly, right now, LA Knight winning it could have worked because Seth Rollins is only tied up with SmackDown because he's the Mr. Money. But never mind. Okay, never mind my fantasy bookings. But where was I? Fuck, I just threw myself off. Gunther. Oh yeah, my initial prediction was that this match would have the cash in, because I didn't see Gunther being champion already, and that was partially because of Seth Rollins wanting the title, and I don't know if Gunther could beat Seth Rollins for as good as Gunther is. And I kind of didn't want to see Jay lose it too quickly, but I also saw him losing it, and I thought a Money in the Bank cash in would have got that job done. I lost my train of thought again. It's been a long day, man. Shit, I don't know. Go ahead. It'll come back to me.
Well, two things. One, I'm really glad that like Gunther won clean. Two, I'm just glad that there's no shenanigans like at all in this match.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I was kind of saying. This was like almost unexpected. You know, I feel like this match was looked over. Like it was like it's not on Money in the Bank, which honestly it probably should have been, looking back at it. But I just didn't see Gunther winning here. I'm glad he did. Like I'm fine with it, as long as he gets that long drawn out reign, like I said. But yeah, I was looking over this match. I feel like everybody was. This is just a clean, like PLE caliber Monday Night Raw main event, which we don't get too many of nowadays. Like everything ends in shenanigans. Seth Rollins, as long as Seth Rollins is involved, there will be shenanigans. If CM Punk and Sami Zayn are out there, we already know Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are going to come out and do something. If Jey Uso's out there at this point, well, maybe not at this point now that he's not champ anymore, but we know Seth Rollins is going to get involved somehow. We know Judgment Day is going to come out and screw somebody over. We know El Grande Americano is going to come out and do something. So yeah, this was just a change of pace and a really good match. It was like 25 minutes long too. Raw ended late. It was like 10:45. Yep. So this match was a lot longer than I thought it would be. Didn't end in those shenanigans, like you said. I guess yeah, I'm glad it didn't either.
Yeah, and I do want to mention one thing that really kind of ruined like Jay's title run for me. And I think someone brought this up on Twitter, and I kind of mentioned it also in like our Money in the Bank predictions. Jey Uso never defended the world title on a PLE.
He didn't? Well, Saturday night's main event, if you count that.
Did he defend it?
Yeah, Logan Paul.
I'm not counting that.
Oh, okay. Well, then no, I don't think he did. He wasn't on Backlash.
Saturday.
I don't think. No, John Cena was.
I'm not counting that as a PLE.
I don't either.
Screw that.
Yeah, I don't either. But yeah, I don't actually think he did.
Actually, I'm going to pull it up because Jay only defended it, I think, 3 times.
Yeah, you're probably right, and it was Logan Paul. Seth Rollins was 1, but that match got shenaniganed. And then
I think Sammy was his first defense, no? Actually, no, that we never got that. Never mind.
No, we didn't. We thought we were going to, because remember the celebration after Mania where Sammy like looked at him all weird?
Yeah.
We were kind of saying this could have been Jay's first feud as champ, but that never happened. Was it really only 2? Seth was 1. Logan was the other.
Seth, Logan, and this one. 3.
Yeah, he had 3 matches as World Heavyweight Champion.
2 of them happened on Raw, and then 1 on PLE, quote unquote. But that's not PLE.
I kind of feel bad now for Jay.
Yeah, and I mentioned it in our Money in the Bank predictions where it's like this is like another PLE where it's like none of the world titles are being defended.
Yeah, like at least you could have had him drop it at Money in the Bank. Give
Or
the
same
guys
day cashing.
or same day cash in, which I would have liked. Although I am happy that Seth is more targeted on the WWE Championship. If he really wants to get over with this gimmick of taking over the WWE, he'll go after the WWE Championship. Maybe fantasy booking time, setting up a match at WrestleMania 42. Finally, we get Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for custody of the WWE. That'd be cool. 1-on-1 finally at Mania.
Here's the thing though. What if The Rock comes back and dates that?
I bet you that's the plan right now. And as we get closer to the Mania, Dwayne and his bald ass head are going to come out and be like, hey, I'm ready for Rock versus Roman. And then we're going to get stuck with like Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn or something. Which, no knocks on Sami Zayn. If anybody could put on a match that would make me believe they had the potential to beat a mega power like that, it's Sami Zayn. But I wouldn't want to see that. Like, people are saying Sami Zayn's going to win the Royal Rumble just because it's in Saudi Arabia. But
I really hope the Rumble's not in Saudi, unless if they've already confirmed
I
it.
think it already is. Yeah.
I mean, the only positive that it's going to be early as hell.
That's true, I guess. Because that's like the big four or whatever, as they're called, are supposed to be in the States. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, if you count that. Now all we get is Saturday night's main events and Fastlane. I guess we still have SummerSlam. I don't count Las Vegas as part of the United States either. That's in the desert. You might as well have it in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely hate Vegas.
Yeah. And I'm a Vegas hockey fan. But
Yeah.
but the only time I've ever seen Vegas play in person was in New York. So
I mean, if it makes you feel better, my teams are outrageously far distant from each other,
Oh, yeah.
so
we went over
it's
this.
going to be, as you can tell, I'm repping my Orioles jersey.
Yeah, what did you say it was? Detroit, Baltimore.
Detroit, Baltimore, Chicago, and then the Kings.
Yeah, I like
Not Chicago, Charlotte for basketball.
yeah, I like Green Bay, Vegas. The Mets are close. And then I'm not a basketball fan at all, but I identify as a Wizards fan. But again, I don't really give a shit about basketball. I know the Wizards are ass, but other than that, I don't know anything about them. And I don't really care to either, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like after a few years now, I've kind of stopped following the NBA just because it just feels the same, and like I think it's just the nostalgia trip of like the people we grew up watching are just getting old or
Yeah.
already retired.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care for it. I think hockey's so much more interesting and entertaining than basketball is, especially when the playoffs are going on right at the same time. An NHL game is it's just so much more like fast paced, and it looks like people care. Like, there's one Stanley Cup. There's like however many NBA trophies. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? And it's like everybody in the league has 5 of them, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, shout out to some of my Kings guys for getting me into hockey.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
There you go. Hockey's a great sport. Super entertaining, super fun to play. I play on Sunday nights. Beer league's where it's at. Beer league is so fun.
I just want to pay and see the fights.
Yeah. We get fights in our beer league, surprisingly.
Really?
Believe it or not, yeah. People go at it. Then they get suspended. But, yeah, no, it happens. from time to time. Not often, but
Hmm.
it does.
Fair enough.
All right. Anything more here on Gunther as the new World Heavyweight Champion before we start to wrap it up? I think we've been going, and here's my prediction for how long we've been going today. I think it's been about an hour and 42 minutes. We'll see how it is afterward. Yeah, anything else on World Heavyweight Championship before we start to wrap it up here? Anything else that went down in the WWE this week we could touch on?
Uh, just on Gunther, I actually did read something funny on Twitter where it was like, what if like Gunther then defends the world title against some random opponent? I don't think the tweet like named anyone, but it was like, what if like Seth Rollins and his group comes out and cashes in, but then Ludwig Kaiser
Ludwig Kaiser comes out
comes
to save him.
comes makes the save, but turns on Gunther to join the Vision.
That would be crazy. That is insane right there, actually.
Yeah, I saw that tweet like probably an hour or two before the podcast. And I was like, huh, this would be interesting.
That is interesting. That's something to think about. If in fact they need a fourth member, we've been hyping up Ludwig Kaiser and Karrion Kross for so long now. Anything they did with Ludwig Kaiser to get him on TV, I think at this point would be a decision that's fine with me.
Yeah, no. But speaking of Ludwig Kaiser, has he been like doing interviews like at all? I swear he disappeared on like the face of the earth.
Yeah, I literally couldn't tell you. I don't get to see those interviews, and I'm sure if I did, we would have saw them on Twitter or something at least. The only stuff on my feed regarding those usually is Karrion Kross. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get him eventually. He's too good to not get used at some point,
Yeah.
like in ring and on the mic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like Karrion Kross, I've heard reports that people don't like him in ring that much. Although the last Karrion Kross match that I remember, other than the AJ Styles one, was WrestleMania 40, that absolute car crash that they had, and that was a really good match. I really enjoyed that one, so I haven't seen a problem with it. Maybe if they gave him some time to practice in the ring by putting him on friggin' TV, he'd get better. But alas.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Karrion's done more with Bloodsport than he has with WWE.
Yeah, literally at this point, which is sad. But oh well. He's done more audiobooks. He probably has more time reading audiobooks now than he does on WWE TV.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's Karrion Kross rant number 2. Anyway, though, I have nothing else for today. If you are ready to wrap it up here, I'm trying to think of anything else that really happened.
Hey, we had a pretty big return on Monday.
That being,
She's half of a twin.
oh my God, that's right. Nikki Bella came back. I completely forgot about that. Nikki Bella comes back, pretty much just setting up Women's Evolution. I think she's gonna have a match with Liv Morgan there, just based on the interactions that we got. I'm sure. I haven't seen the date for Women's Evolution, but I'm sure it's next Saturday or some bullshit. But this seemed like a pretty clear cut. We're gonna bring Nikki Bella back for like one last thing, and it's gonna be a match with Liv Morgan.
Is it one last thing? Because I feel like this might be like a permanent return for her.
Well, she was in the Royal Rumble, but we haven't seen her since the Royal Rumble. So that leads me to believe it's more of a part-time thing, but
She's on the John Cena schedule.
she's on the John Cena schedule.
She's a Hall of Famer, which blows my mind, by the way.
I mean, she used to be on the John Cena schedule, if you know what I mean. But yeah, no, right now she's more on the Roman Reigns schedule, honestly. which I don't
I
know.
will say I am looking forward to what they do with Evolution because it is with both the main roster and NXT.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, it could be cool. I think I've said this in previous weeks too. Every women's title should be defended here. Like, there's no
yeah,
reason they shouldn't. Other than maybe the tag titles, those I could care less about. And if Nikki Bella versus Liv Morgan is the play, the tag titles definitely aren't getting defended once again. Um, but yeah, I want to see the U.S. title on there. I definitely want to see the Intercontinental title on there. How many times has Io Sky defended her title yet?
I genuinely could not tell you
I
the
don't even
last
know
time
if
she defended the title.
the last time she had a match was Stephanie Vaquer, but that wasn't a title
Yeah.
match.
All
Um,
right, Jamie 2.0.
Jamie,
Okay, let's
Jamie,
see.
pull that up. Yeah, but I genuinely don't remember the last time other than WrestleMania. I don't think there has been a time since WrestleMania she defended the title. She's barely even been on TV since then, or since her Stephanie Vaquer thing, since the stuff with like Rhea Ripley and Julia and Roxanne Perez and all them coming out. But like, what is Io Sky doing?
I'm not sure. I feel like they're trying to. I feel like what am I trying to say while I'm trying to look for this? I feel like they're trying to like pull like a damage control again.
I mean, they could now that Asuka's about to be back. We could have Kyrie saying Asuka, Io Sky.
Yeah, but that's just the Kabuki Warriors at that point.
Yeah. Well, we Dakota Kai is no longer with us, and Bailey's kind of got other stuff going on at the moment. So
Yeah, but I mean, who knows what'll happen? Why is Io not popping up? Where the hell is she? There. That's. Come on, where is it? Oh my god.
was it WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Yeah, thought so. Which sucks because I want to see Io Sky on TV more. Like her match against Stephanie Vaquer when that happened, that was good. That was great, even.
I'm looking at her title defenses. So her last one was the WrestleMania match.
Yeah,
Prior to that was the week before,
it was
or
Rhea
like two
Ripley,
weeks before, was Ripley.
and that was it. And
Yeah,
the one before that
because
she
before
won.
that was the title change.
Yeah. So Io Sky has been champion for like 4 months, maybe 4 or 5 months, and has had two title
To
defenses. And I feel like that,
Jey Uso level right there.
yeah, that is Jey Uso level. But Io Sky is still champion. Um, I feel like that's because they, back to when like Roxanne and Julia were getting pulled up. They were setting up Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky, like clearly, and Rhea Ripley's been busy. Therefore, Io Sky has not been busy because like who else is there really on Raw to go against her at this point? You know, I mean now we have Stephanie Vaquer. That'd be cool. We could finally get that match for the title with a definitive winner.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned this already. How like the best thing going for the women's division right now is the Intercontinental Championship, and it's between two people.
Yeah, three now. We got Bailey in there,
Three?
which is
Yeah,
another main
three.
eventer that takes away from Io Sky. Uh, so, so once again, yeah, I think a Stephanie Vaquer match before getting back to Rhea Ripley would be good. Um, I don't know if Rhea Ripley needs to be champion again already though.
Well, I just want to see more Judgment Day shenanigans. So can we get like Roxanne to win it?
That would be crazy, actually. Imagine Roxanne Perez brings the Women's World Championship back to the Judgment Day and Liv Morgan doesn't. I mean, Roxanne did just win her Queen of the Ring qualifier. So,
I do think she's gonna win that, by the way.
yeah, that would be cool. I mean, we had Lyra win last year.
Hmm.
Um, or no, wait. No, we didn't. She got to the finals, though. Nia Jax was Queen of the Ring. Um,
And Gunther won it.
yeah. Um, I could totally see that though. Roxanne brings the title back. That would be closer to what we were talking about, closer to WrestleMania, when I said, imagine if both Liv Morgan and Dirty Dom were champions walking out of WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, or we, I mean, Night of Champions always has set up something for SummerSlam. So I mean, what if, um, just hypothetically speaking, just because I could care less about these titles, what if Liv Morgan and Raquel drop the tag titles to God who knows wherever that tag division's left, and Finn drops the title. I mean, Jesus, Finn gets the title from Dom, and Roxanne gets the women's world championship.
I would be so on board for that. Judgment Day needs some kind of big shakeup here. Obviously, the Finn Balor turn has been teased for almost a year at this point, I'd say, when he first turned on Damian Priest. Now he's turning on Dom, especially after WrestleMania. We have Roxanne
I
in the mix
mean,
now.
we already got a big shake. I mean, Carlito's been exiled.
Carlito has been exiled. Where are the "We Want Carlito" chants?
Yeah, people, where's Carlito?
I'd argue Carlito did more than R-Truth did. His getting speared by Braun Breaker was so entertaining. Every single week. You know what? He probably didn't have a problem with leaving because he's probably sitting on his couch right now eating an apple. Like, I will never be speared in half again.
He took the PS5.
And
there's nothing in the clubhouse TV anymore.
And he took the PS5. He took the PS5. He took all the snacks, and he's never getting speared in half again. He's probably happy right now. Although he did just lose his job, so maybe not.
I mean, at least he got a nice parting gift from Roxanne and the apples.
Yeah. He never rizzed up Raquel though.
I'm still annoyed that that's gonna be left unfinished.
I
Not
know.
gonna lie to you.
I know. I wanted to see something. It's like the end of a movie where like the two like the comic relief and like the badass girl character hate each other the whole movie, and then they just like kiss randomly at the end.
They don't even get to the kiss part. The screen just goes black.
Yeah. I feel bad for Carlito. Poor guy.
That's not cool, WWE and TKO. That's not cool.
That is certainly not cool.
Deserve to get an apple spat on you.
Yeah. Poor guy.
I was all in for Carlito's return too.
Yeah, he just didn't get as much in-ring action as he did earlier on in his return. Although he returned as a babyface.
Yeah, because he was with LWO.
Yeah, it's like, what's with the babyface Carlito? He got turned heel so quickly. Just attacking Dragon Lee.
I mean, rightfully so. No one was used to him being face. I mean, it goes back to a conversation we had before. Some people are just naturally meant to be heels, and some are meant to naturally be faces.
Yeah. Did he even like officially join Judgment Day, or did he just start following them around like R-Truth one day? I don't recall him ever like actually.
See, he was more official than R-Truth ever was.
Yeah. That's definitely true. But I don't recall anybody ever giving him like the go ahead to be in, you know.
Then explain all the Carlito Judgment Day merch, which is like one shirt.
That is true. Yeah, he was definitely more accepted by the group. I just don't remember that officially ever being a thing.
I think that was just more of like, I think it was more or less him being accepted by Damien when he was still in the group than anyone else.
Yeah, that could have been it.
But yeah, no, like Carlito was in the group for so long that I genuinely like don't even remember how he got in.
Yeah.
Like if
That's
you
what's
asked me like all the other like people that got involved, like, oh yeah, I remember exactly how they got in. Carlito, no chance in hell I could tell you.
Yeah, no, I have no idea. Like Liv Morgan, we all know. Roxanne Perez obviously is new. Finn Balor, we remember that. And then his career died to Edge. Damian Priest was an OG, if I'm not mistaken. And Dominic Mysterio got taken away by Rhea Ripley. But Carlito, couldn't tell you.
Yeah, all I just remember was him turning on LWO, and then weeks later he's with Judgment Day.
Yeah, like he was
I
just
don't remember
kinda,
what happened within that time span.
yeah. No, he was just kind of there. He just like appeared. And then he had like 10 matches in his whole return and then just like became a manager, comic relief character.
Speaking of Dom, more fancy booking for you. What if at WrestleMania, like say if like my fancy booking does hold up and like the Judgment Day is like basically in Civil War and Roxanne is champion. What if we get like Roxanne versus Liv Morgan and for somewhat other reason because I feel like it's already happened. What if Rhea Ripley inserts her into this and then Dominic is just in like the biggest like love square ever.
The custody of Dominic Mysterio ladder match. I could definitely see Roxanne Perez being women's champion by the time WrestleMania rolls around because she was on that like Tiffany Stratton-esque trajectory where she had a good showing at the Royal Rumble. She had a good showing in the Elimination Chamber. She missed WrestleMania, but now she's in the Money in the Bank ladder match. She's involved with Liv Morgan, former women's world champion. She's got a pretty decent storyline going on right now. We're saying she's going to win Queen of the Ring. It's entirely possible that Liv Morgan versus Roxanne Perez is the plan for WrestleMania next year.
I just wish it wasn't in Vegas.
Yeah. Sadly, it'll probably never be anywhere near us ever again. But
no, I was gonna say at this rate, I feel like WrestleMania is either gonna be on the West Coast or Saudi at this point.
If it's ever in Saudi Arabia, we gotta like boycott the WWE or some shit because I'd rather it be in Las Vegas than Saudi Arabia. Even though I will never go to either place.
Yeah.
But still, just
like
from a moral standpoint.
Yeah, and I feel like, and this isn't like a knock on Vegas. Like I don't think Vegas like generated enough hype as it did with like New Orleans.
Yeah, no. More people were excited about that because we've had historic WrestleManias in New Orleans. The streak ended in New Orleans, you know? That's like a WrestleMania town. Like Las Vegas, when was the last time they held a WrestleMania? Probably never. So,
excluding this year.
Yeah, excluding this year and next year apparently.
Well, my thing is like they have to make this WrestleMania different in some way, shape, or form.
Night 3?
And God dare no, it better not be a night 3.
Night 3 of
because that just ruins like the scheduling of like the Hall of Fame ceremony. Then you have to worry about NXT.
Yeah, because Monday Night Raw would get pushed back, or Friday Night SmackDown would get moved earlier. Thursday Night SmackDown. We return to SmackDown Live on Thursdays.
So I'd be all for that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
If they did a 2-hour show, maybe. It's a struggle to stay up till 11 nowadays, anyway.
Adult life, man.
It sucks. You could see the bags under my eyes.
Trust me, that's gonna be me once I actually hear back from some of these jobs I applied to. It's been like almost a month now, so I'm a little worried.
Yeah, you have to literally like knock on their door and be like, here's my application. I'm going to call you in 3 days. Let me know what you think. I had to do that to work at a grocery store when I was 16. I applied like 4 times online for my first job ever, pushing carts for like $9 an hour. Nobody ever like got back to me. I just walked into the Giant one day and I was like, hey, can I like have a job or like let me know if you got my thing? And they're like, yeah,
Are you guys hiring?
They were like, yeah, come in for your interview tomorrow. And I was like, oh, okay. Why do you have to do a job interview for like working at a grocery store? They had me like dressing up in like a dress shirt and khakis to go push carts as a 16-year-old who actually I was 15 when I first applied there. I didn't even have a car yet. But I was like, this is a little like looking back on it, I was like, this is not like a prestigious thing, you know? Like I feel like I'm winning an award.
I'll never forget how I showed up for my interview at DSG.
Yeah.
I think I pulled up in like just like a regular like plain t-shirt and like basketball
Oh, really?
shorts. Still got
Honestly,
hired.
that's like the vibe. That's like their vibe though.
Yeah. So I mean, then again, that was like the first like job I really applied to, so I didn't really know how interviews or business professional looks, even though DSG is not business professional at all.
No, sweatpants and t-shirts every day. I miss it so much. I come home from work and I immediately put on my t-shirt and sweatpants. I got pajama pants on right now. It's a little hot in here. I might be sweating a little bit because I closed my window because somebody was cutting the grass as soon as we started recording. But
I was gonna say my lighting has gone to crap since I'm now relied on one light bulb. God, I miss. That's like the only like decent thing about like my setup in Scranton. At least like I get like really good natural lighting compared to when I didn't. But like once the sun goes down, it's to hell.
yeah, well, we started a little late today too. I think we started around 7. So
Yeah, that's true.
I have LED lights around every corner of my room though, so I don't cast much shadows anywhere. Um, that and
I
I
used to be an I used to be an LED guy. I just couldn't be bothered of like hang up a nice up blob.
yeah, I promise it's not that bright in person. I mean, it's bright, but it's not that. It's not that bad. It sucks that you can't see that on camera, but anyway.
I mean, it's there.
Yeah, it's cool. It still looks fine. I like it. I put it on while I watch Raw and stuff. And then I'll turn the lights. I'll put them on like red for Raw. Never mind. It doesn't want to cooperate today, I guess. But I will turn them red when I watch Raw. I'll put them on blue when I watch SmackDown. Sets the mood. Although blue light like really hurts your eyes, so that might be part of the reason I can't stay up for SmackDown now that I think about it.
I really want like one of those like I think they're what like hex lights where they're just like triangles that you just
Yeah, I've
like
seen
place
those.
on the wall.
And they're like shelves kind of.
Yeah, like I want one of those. The issue is like a single one just runs you like $80.
Yeah.
I'm not paying like almost $500 for like
For like
6 of
for
them.
like 3 fancy light bulbs.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. Well, is there anything else we want to cover here in the WWE before we start to wrap it up? My mom just texted me that she has spaghetti upstairs at 9 p.m. So,
I think I'm good. I don't think really much happened on. I think we covered everything on Raw, and
yeah.
not much really happened on the go home show for SmackDown.
Yeah. So, with that being said, next week we'll have more to talk about in terms of Night of Champions with that coming up. Maybe we could do some. I feel like every episode now has been predictions just because of how close together these PLEs are. They got to space them out so we could do something a little more interesting from time to time here. But anyway, with that being said, we'll see how episode 12 turns out next week. In the meantime, though, thank you all for listening, watching, subscribing. However you're consuming this podcast, leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed. You could follow me over on Twitter, Instagram. We have a TikTok page, very fun TikTok page, the greatest TikTok page you've ever seen. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, stuff like that. All the links are in the graphic below and should be in the description. Gently plug your socials real quick.
Jetly_T on Instagram.
And you could also follow me at J_Yanoski 2103. I forgot the number there for a second. It's my birthday. but anyway, you can follow us over there on Instagram and stuff like that. We will see you all next week for episode 12, whatever that might entail.